the ever-steady sneak point shall rot away your brain. Bad to the bone, bruise the furnace, pick up for days on days. And the great sound covers slow-mo sets have bad writing to slay. We are all damage of damage. We are all damage of damage. We are all damage. The qualified. The qualified. We are repaired.
Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. We're a little less prepared today because we are one short. Jedi is on short hiatus. His job has him away from the show for a few weeks. So we're gonna try to muddle on through and do what we can do. But we still got Bad to the Bone Bruce for over there.
Woo!
Good old Styx boy. And as fed as ever, Tom Tober. What's up, boys? How was your week?
Oh, I couldn't have come to an end any quicker.
I agree. We got
It was great. I got back into playing video games online. Ooh. I haven't broken a controller yet this week, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. You got too much time on your hands. You got time for video games.
My hotel's been packed for the past the whole week. It's been busy times. Yeah,
weather's starting to break.
I got to talk to you about the hotel. It's just a bunch of stuff. Crazy.
And playing Destiny 2.
Oh, I don't know how you guys have time for video games.
I
barely have time to get stuff ready for the show.
It makes somebody lazier playing video games, man. Come on, man.
They are nice. I would like that therapy. I just don't have time for it. I don't have.
Even if I have time, I don't have the patience to sit down for video games. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I got time for this.
I don't know. It's just something about going into a match and just killing people with guns.
Yes, that's it, folks. That's it, folks. So just look at the newspaper. This guy does.
Yeah, that's therapy.
I would do it if I could be like, I can go in, I have a half hour, I could play for a half hour, and but I can't. If I start playing a game, I'm just going to be like, next thing I know, it's 3 a.m. and the whole day's gone and night's gone, and I can't do it.
Nintendo days, ColecoVision days, Atari 5200. That's when I was playing video games. Now
he just plays with his own stick.
That's it, baby.
In college, we played NHL 94 in college on the Sega Genesis constantly.
Great game.
That was the go-to game.
Oh yeah, they had these free video games at the con last week. Street Fighter I think it was Street Fighter, and my wife was playing. I was playing my wife. My wife beat the shit out of me all the time. She kicked my ass.
I got better hand skills.
Yeah, I said, you know what?
I give up.
I watched my son play, and he's playing using the keyboard and stuff like that, and he's flying all over. He's popping people left and right. I'm just
sounds like Fortnite.
No,
just there walking around.
Yeah, I just watch anymore. I'm like, I don't have the hand-eye coordination anymore. I'm
Mama Bear. The joystick is a different therapy. I could say.
Yeah, boys got all your free comic book day comics and all your good stuff. And
negative. I missed out on all that stuff. I thought that, like I said last week, the con in Philly, I thought they would have somebody selling or somebody giving away
slipping some out early.
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. So
they want you to go to the brick and mortars, which makes sense. They want you to go into the stores.
The hot books to pick up were the Conan, the Popeye.
Oh, the Conan looks so good.
The Johnny Quest, the Inner John universe. It was one more. The Gatchaman.
Yeah,
what about the
I picked up
the first appearance of the blue furball friggin' Nubs that friggin' Wayseeker loves.
That was the first appearance of Nubs?
Yeah.
Oh, that TMNT as well.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that the first appearance of another character, right? Of a new character?
Was it Slizzard?
And then the Night Watcher, which is actually just one of the turtles. So
probably Jenica.
All right, let's say hi to a few people out here. GTK Comics always in early. Good to have you there. Tommy Longbox, I've got an itch only you guys can scratch. We shall try.
Styx can help with that.
Ed, say hi to Itchy and Scratchy. Good to see you, Ed. Mama Bear here only because Bruce is here. She never shows up when Bruce isn't here. So we're happy to have you, Mama.
That's true.
Three Rivers, need more cowbell.
Cowbell. I'll put my leg on one leg at a time, like everyone else. My pants on one leg at a time.
Dame, one word. Or done one word.
Hadouken!
How you doing, Damon? Hated
Yoga
Kira G.
Yoga slap.
First Nubs is huge, but not much attention paid. That is true. You and Wayseeker are about the only two that love their nubs.
Wait till that fur ball comes in live action. You know?
Yeah. People
It's
like.
gonna-
People
Well, it's
like
going to
the
be
cute
an
stuff.
Ewok. It's like a blue Ewok, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yes, because
It's coming up in a few weeks.
It's two and a quarter a month on this side and $250 on this side.
Just shave it all off.
Oh, it'll be coming off because once I start swimming
It'll be
in the summer, I ain't dripping this thing in the water.
Could be donating that to Lock of Love pretty soon.
There's just nobody's putting this on their head. There's probably more egg yolk and God knows what else matted in there somewhere. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. All righty, boys. So tonight we're gonna do our outside looking in. Also, we're gonna take a little look at some news. We have a little segment to talk about who might be the next hot artist, if that Stevens fever can carry over to another artist out there. So we're going to take a look at a few artists.
Yeah, 'cause some of these Dave Stevens books are really getting out of people's ranges.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, they are.
The crazy thing is, it's amazing that the documentary came out, but then when we talked about it weeks prior, right before the documentary dropped, right?
Oh yeah, months prior.
Months ago,
prior, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny how
When that
everybody
Kickstarter
was
was
like,
up.
"Oh wow," Steven. And I wasn't really familiar with Dave Stevens, but I know he did the Rocketeer, but I wasn't on the work. But damn, it really blew up out of proportion. Like the books just started up like
I
crazy.
didn't know who he was until Joe's spotlight, and I was like, "Oh, I have some of these books on my collection."
Yeah.
Anybody have
So,
that?
Get them graded.
That with the Vampirella that he did the Vampirella.
No, I don't have the Vampirella.
Yeah.
I wish I
Okay,
could.
we
There's so
call
many,
Joe-
there's so many
Joe the
good little
Gray.
secret books there. But we're going to take a look at a handful of different artists. Some have some pros and cons in terms of, what could possibly get them moving in the right direction or what could hold them back from being the next thing. So we'll look at those. We got another game tonight, like we did for a few weeks back, where we were looking at old Free Comic Book Day books. We're going to look at the prices of the current New Comic Book Day books and see how those are doing for 2024. And to close out the show, we're going to have a nice little look at some ugly covers
Hey,
What about
throughout
pickup?
the ages.
hey,
Anything
watch
pick-
it. I know what cover you're gonna put on there.
So unlike our brother show on Saturdays, we are not doing the current week books.
Yeah.
We're not stealing content. We are actually just going to take a look.
You're just borrowing a segment. There.
We're gonna take a look at some ugly Golden Age books, some ugly Silver Age books, some ugly Bronze books, and some ugly moderns.
Nice.
So
My wife
about
knows about storage.
It's
just
It's
a fun little
like
way to close out the show.
it's like that old Italian song. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
All
Comes
right,
together. That's all that matters.
you ready to run this, Bruce?
Yeah, let's go.
Do it.
Welcome back to Outside Looking In, the books that were not hot enough for the top 10. But they're fine for us for now. So pay attention because these books might be on the top 10 next week. But you saw it here first. So first up, we have Blood Hunt Red Band edition #1, selling around $2 above cover price. I think cover price was like $7. And it's hitting highs of 20. I don't think a lot of stores ordered this because of the high cover price.
I think they ordered it. They ordered some. I mean, there was only this cover, and then you had the ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it bared better for the ratio because you didn't have 5 covers and a bunch of stuff like that where people were buying a bunch of different covers of the Red Band to be able to qualify for the ratio.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this storyline in the 616 or it's a different verse?
No, it's in the main
Marvel verse?
Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love vampires, so I'm enjoying it so far.
I believe there's a total of, for this whole event, including tie-ins and Red Band, I believe there are 59 books.
Insane.
It is insane.
Although they have said that you don't necessarily have to read all the tie-ins to be able to keep up with the story. I guess we'll see. But it's hefty. Marvel events are hefty. They like their tie-ins. So we'll see where this goes. The Red Bands are interesting. You get something a little more mature. I'm still waiting on mine in the mail. I did get the regular and I did get the Red Band. I'm interested to compare the two because I'm guessing they're different books slightly, but the same book also.
Yes. And yes. Yeah. Damien, I love Blade as a character. I don't think Marvel has done enough with Blade over the years.
I agree. He's an underutilized character. They've had his own little series here and there, but they've been very short. Mm-hmm. They don't have him cross over too much. But then again, Marvel hasn't really done much with that whole supernatural side of things.
No.
They've kind of squandered Werewolf by Night.
I think the
Dracula.
90s showed more of the supernatural side than 2000s. They had a lot more gimmicks and more they did a lot more with the characters.
Yeah, you had Legion of Monsters, all that kind of stuff, and Midnight Suns, and I mean, Ghost Rider is a perfect place for a lot of these, and Moon Knight is a perfect place for a lot of these characters to cross over into. So maybe we'll get more. I'd like to see them focus a little more on the supernatural.
It was kind of weird seeing Blade pop up in a Miles Morales book and training him to be a vampire. And so I'm like,
Miles has a sword now, so it's
it makes sense. It was prepping him for Blood Hunt.
Yeah.
And you got Dracula back, and it's it's something. We'll see where it goes. I'm not a huge fan of events. It's too much for me. I like small, digestible storylines.
I just hope they don't go through this event and nothing changes. There's no repercussions from the storyline at all.
Well,
she showed up in that Dracula book, so she.
I want repercussions in these books. You know why? I want things to change. Because at the end of the day, like I don't like that no one dies type of thing. That there's no something happens and they rectify it later. I want to see something like drastically change a character or drastically change a story moving forward, because it gets dull. Look, we all know comic book characters don't die; they all come back eventually. But it's the way they do the whole storyline and how they proceed on making these changes and killing these characters off.
Even if they do kill off characters during this, they'll be back by Christmas.
Yes,
to celebrate the holidays.
Exactly right.
And I normally find, within the year, there's probably normally like one storyline within a Marvel comic that I find interesting, maybe two. It's rare I really get much more than that. I'll still read a lot of stuff, but there's normally only maybe one or two. They're like, oh, this is really good. I can't wait for next week.
Are the X-Men part of this too, right?
I believe there's crossovers, yeah. Because
are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think I thought there was a Laura Kenny Blood Hunt book that's coming.
Oh yeah, there is a cover. That's what. Okay. All right. Next up, We got new X-Men 128, the first appearance of Phantasma, whatever his name is. Phantom X. Selling between 20 and 40 at CGC 98s, hitting 120 to 130. I don't know why this is hitting so high.
Is that the cover? Is that the cover? Is this the special cover?
Hoping to see him in Deadpool or something?
No, was this the cover? If I'm not mistaken, there was something with the cover. With the Jean Grey on the with her on the there was, I think, two different versions of the cover. If I'm not mistaken. Look it up. I think because of this cover, it's shooting up too.
Yeah, a lot of the new X-Men stuff is popping here and there, especially for Deadpool, Wolverine spec as well. That whole Sandra Nova storyline and everything else, and some of those characters popping up through
get
there.
that PG off the side of that thing. Fuck PG.
Yeah.
Goddamn PG shit.
What are you complaining about PG?
Oh, the PG on the side of the book. PG stories. Come on.
I mean, this is, like I said, we're hitting the perfect confluence of X-Men 97, Wolverine and Deadpool, and then future X-Men movie rumor spec. So you're gonna just constantly be getting all this weird X-Men spec that's gonna be floating all over the place, at least for the next few months. So.
And I am sick of X-Men spec. I really am.
Yeah.
Sick of talking about X-Men.
Hey, you see? But you know what? Everybody wanted the X-Men 97 to be great. And people who said that were trashing it all of a sudden love it. And now that's driving prices for everything because
that's called grifting, Dom.
Again, all like Jay said, all it really takes is somebody pushing
YouTubers.
one book on a site somewhere, saying, "Hey, this is the next thing. This might be here. This might be there." And it's going to pump those books that were $5 books or $2 books into $10 and $20 books.
I will say this. Kevin Feige needs to hire Bo DeMayo to write the X-Men live action movie.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
No, he doesn't. What you could say you love X-Men 97, and that's fine. I enjoy X-Men 97. As a cartoon, please don't tell me anything that happened in that show would translate into any reasonable live action anything, because it wouldn't. It would be cheesy and awful.
Try.
But I think Bo DeMayo doing more of the animation side of the house for Marvel is a good thing, because I did enjoy X-Men 97 as a cartoon. And I would like to see Marvel do better with their animation, which they've been atrocious with in the past.
I like I said last week on my show, if Marvel doesn't hire him back, I think James Gunn should be calling him right away to do DC's animation.
Oh, I think DC's animation is just fine. I don't think DC has a problem with its animation.
No, they don't. They just
people crapped on Crisis, on the part 2 of Crisis. I know some people didn't like part 2 of Crisis. I was fine with it. I thought it was fine. It was fine.
I agree, JC. Tits out for DeMayo.
I'm not against the guy getting work, but like I said, I don't think he's a be-all, end-all savior of anything either. But like I said, I would rather see him working more with Marvel animation and then building out better Marvel animation now that they proven that they could do it. Now that would be nice. So we'll see.
I don't even know what's the next Marvel animation project coming up.
Wasn't there? Are they still doing the freshman year? Spider-Man freshman
year?
That's right, freshman year.
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, that's happening soon. Yeah,
to something.
But there's more.
I'm with you, BK. I think Warner's just fine on the animation front.
Are you guys ready for the train?
Choo choo.
Choo choo. The Comics Journal number 117. Another Dave Stevens classic cover.
I love the magazines are hitting.
Huh?
I love that the magazines are starting to hit. That's fantastic to me. That makes me happy.
These were selling for $100 to $200, but there was a high sale of $487 after auction, after 49 bids on this.
Damn.
Joe, you'll probably say this, but I'll say it. Something I know. This was only put out in Canada, right?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a lot of his magazines, like, well, you had Comic Art, which had a lot
French.
of his art on it, and then there were the Italian versions of that came out.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of foreign language versions of the magazines, but the magazines are a sleeper because these sit in boxes all the time. Nobody ever used to look through magazine boxes.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can tell you that my one comic shop, they have a whole bunch of magazine boxes. I think I'm the only one that looks at them.
That's true.
You know, this book must have been in a lot of people's $5, $10 bins without even.
No, you don't. Like I said, most people don't bring magazines, and when they do bring magazines, it's that dusty box that's sitting under a table in the corner of somebody's shop somewhere, and half the stuff isn't bagged in any way because who's going to buy magazine bags all the time and bag a bunch of stuff that's been sitting there? So
you get your boxes of Fangoria or Comic Scene, and they're never bagged.
It was fantastic. Fantagraphics.
Yeah,
cool cover, nice. It is a cool, sexy girl cover.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there. It's kind of why it's fun when something like Stevens hits. All the stuff kind of starts coming out of the woodwork. You know the stuff that you've seen for years and years, and then you start seeing some of the magazine stuff, and then all of a sudden you'll see a cover and be like, God, I didn't know that existed. Well, I can't believe that last issue of Bad Planet, his last comic, is getting as much heat as it is because for years most people didn't even realize that was a Stevens book that was sitting out there.
I think I showed up 2 weeks ago when I got it back from CGC.
Yeah,
that Bad Planet. Josh, International Comics, he has like 4 back from CGC with the 98. He has, I think, one up for auction is like $900 auction.
But I guarantee you, if I mentioned that book last year, people's eyes would glaze over. Like, what the hell are you talking about? What's Bad Planet? Nobody, there's very, very small people that collect Stevens stuff and stuff like that knew that, that's his last book. But, outside of that, it was.
Things like that are too knee deep in indie that people don't even know or want to know.
Yeah.
I love Amazing Heroes.
Next
All right. What do we got?
What we got here? Usagi Jimbo, The Crow, number 2, the 1 in 40. It was one sale at $96. There's one listed on eBay for $600 with a remark. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of copies of this out there.
There aren't, because again, it's a 1 in 40. People picked up on the heat of the last 1 in 40 because it was a Yojimbo cover. Mm-hmm. This one is nice, but it's another 1 in 40, and you know the way it is with these. You have one ratio that hits really well. Mm-hmm. The next couple tend to catch a little bit of heat, but tend to die off a little bit faster. This is a bit of a sleeper. I believe the next one that's a 1 in 40 is also pretty sharp. So I don't. I like Usagi books. If these are things that you had on your pull list early, and we're getting a nice little discount on them, and maybe paying $27 instead of $40, not a bad deal.
By chance, is that a new character on the cover?
I believe so.
I've never read a Usagi Yojimbo book, but I actually tried to watch the Netflix show. Oh my god, it was so bad.
But that was Space Usagi. That was something completely different. That was a whole different ball game. No, the old Usagi books are good. I mean, the thing is, they crank out a ton of the series. It's like Red Sonja. It's like, here's a 6-issue run, and then at the same time they're launching another series at the same time. And it's a 5-issue run, and it's like sometimes it's hard to keep up with them. But I don't know. For the Usagi fans out there, I mean, most of these don't seem to The newer ones don't seem to hold that long for, but I don't know.
Right.
I like Usagi stuff. If you like it, collect it. Don't overpay for it. Don't go chase it. This book will probably come down a little bit, if not a lot of it, in a few weeks. Yeah. But wait. Mm-hmm. It'll all depend on how the next 1 in 40 does. If the next 1 in 40 does really well, then people will go and chase this one too, and then go try to pick up the last one.
They'll do like a 1 in 40 half, something like that. They'll do some crazy ass type of thing.
No, I mean the thing is this is Dark Horse as well, so God knows
1 in 65.
And Dark Horse isn't the most reliable publisher in terms of getting things out as well. But you don't have 8 million. I think you just had an A cover and the variant. So
yeah.
John Huck, when I said the show was bad, meaning it was bad in a way it didn't set up the world very well. I didn't care about the characters in the show. So,
well, Space Usagi is a whole different thing than the original concept of Usagi. It's a different deal, and it did have a different feel for more of a modern audience. I prefer kind of the older stuff.
And the final book on Outside Looking In. Revival number 1. Tim Staley book got optioned for Sci-Fi Network. And here we are with Jimmy Frizen classic cover. Selling between $10 and $15. There was around 20 sales of this book. There are a couple of variants, but this is the one that seems to be popping off more.
I don't care if they option it, don't option it, or whatever. This series has phenomenal Jenny Frizen covers. The whole run has phenomenal Jenny Frizen covers. So if you're a Jenny Frizen fan, you can still dig. The revivals are still dirt cheap. You can dig up tons of great Jenny Frizen covers. If you're a Frizen collector, it's a nice way to get a good chunk of nice Jenny Frizen stuff really cheap. Granted, it's going to go up a little bit now, but people would just be chasing one for the most part. So the other ones will still.
I think I have like 1 or 2 copies of this in my storage unit. I think. I know
it's like most indie option news. This is stay hot until something else is announced. Option.
I mean, this is solid. I mean, it's Tim Seeley, and it's good stuff.
The problem it'll have is because it takes so long sometimes for these option properties to come to fruition. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sci-fi hurts my heart because they canceled Deadly Class after the first season, and that kind of made me.
Sci-fi used to have so many great shows: Warehouse 13,
Farscape,
Warehouse
Lost
13,
Girl,
Stargate.
So many good shows, and I don't know what happened.
You would think one of the bigger ones. You would think one of the bigger ones would buy them out and incorporate it into, like you go to Max on the streaming service and you got like 8 channels there. They definitely should incorporate something like that.
Yeah, you got, they don't make good movies like Sharknado and Snow Globe. They don't make shit like that anymore.
Hey, one of my favorite werewolf movies came from Sci-Fi, Dog Soldiers. All right.
Oh yeah. That's it. There you go.
Good luck, BK.
I believe this is about what zombies.
It's basically they come back. They like reanimated. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a different take on the zombie genre. I can't remember. I really can't remember.
Yeah.
Brandon, Crocodile Black and Graveyard Club, he's predicting will be optioned in the next 2 years.
And Resident Alien is fantastic.
A lot of people
picked up by Paramount.
It's in limbo if it's going to be renewed or not.
What? Well, Crocodile
Resident
Black.
Alien.
Yeah, Resident Alien. They just finished another a brand new season on Paramount, so it officially moved over there. It's a great show. And I believe another series is coming out for the comic this summer as well. So.
B. Rivers, have you seen Ginger Snap? Yes, I have. That's one of my favorite werewolf movies. Great Canadian film.
Ooh, Canadian.
Should watch it. Really good.
Yeah.
From Canada, huh?
Hey, yeah, sure is.
Hey.
What's up next? Got one more?
And that is the outside looking in for Pete's write-up on all these books and the top 10. Head over to cbsi.com, read his comments, and check it out.
I was happy with the OLI this week.
Yeah, it was a good one. Please hit that like button while you're watching. We'd like tell us how much you like the show. Hit that like button, guys.
Thumbs up.
We want to feel
we'll take anything as long as you engage in the chat. Come on.
Got a little petty pin up this week. Doing a little pipe work.
Yes, she does
just
pipe
felt
work.
right. Just felt right.
Hey.
Nice.
For the comic now and later this week. For this week, of course, we got Flops came out with the Washed in Blood variant. All the covers on Washed in Blood are great.
I am going to get that fairy tales.
I'm always grabbing everything Flops. So Betty and Veronica Friends Forever, Fairy Tales 1. There's always Archie variants for May the 4th. This was just a cute little
I know, but
little Betty.
I definitely have to get that because I do love me Slave Leah.
Yeah, and I like the plane. They have another background too that's kind of like a wavy tie-dye kind of deal, but I like the straight up white background. It's pretty sharp. And if you watched the Hot 10, you saw this book pop up on there. The Armory Wars, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Volume 2, Number 1, Cover E, 1 and 40. The Lotte variant. For all you Lotte collectors out there, I missed this one. I saw Lotte posted a few days ago, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks great! I got to go find that." And I was like, "Oh, that's coming out Wednesday." So it is what it is. This book by Coheed and Cambria is on the Hot 10 this week, and it is a very sharp Lotte cover. So go out there and grab it. Coming up in the future, I figured I'd go with a little bit of tentacle action for a couple this week. Red Sonja, Empire of the Damned 4. You got a nice Josh Middleton. This is a really good Middleton cover. I like it a lot for Sonja. Number one, I like anytime Middleton does Sonja, but Tentacles, it's just fun. It's a fun cover. And then you got Scarlet Witch 2, the 1 in 25, the DK Ruin variant. So you got some more octopus action with Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch, there's some really good covers on Scarlet Witch for that series. I haven't read the series at all yet. I just got issue 1, but some of the covers are pretty sharp. But they know what they're doing when they put out a series like that. They give you a lot of good cover candy.
I agree.
Yes.
That's what VPNs and last on the list, Lore Remastered. This series being redone. This is number 2. The C cover, the 1 in 10, the Ashley Wood Heels variant. It's just it's a fun cover. I like it. So
I bet it is a fun cover. Yes,
it is. It is on my list of things I enjoy. I know all about Hentai. I know all about it.
He wrote it. He actually performed Steve of the Month.
So that's what we got this week. Let's do some pickups, boys.
Ooh,
absolutely.
You're in a pole position there, Bruce. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Let me.
There we go.
Okay.
Speaking of Crocodile Black.
Oh, there you go.
I picked up one of the incentives. Haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to it. Little Energon Universe, 1 in 25, the best Transformer.
Hot Rod sucks. He makes Optimus die, man.
Optimus is too old.
It's a big pipe. It's a big pipe.
He's a war criminal.
Then I got Darth Vader 46, the one in 25.
I stopped buying Star Wars books altogether, man.
Yes, there are.
Got this in the mail.
Oh, there you go.
One of these Green Lantern collector's editions.
Can I open it up to see how busted the corners are?
Hopefully they're not too bad. At least the middle books aren't that bad. Then I got some stuff back from CGC. I'll show you guys. Visions.
Oh, there you go.
9/8.
You're not even a Star Wars fan. You're not even a Star Wars fan, Bruce.
I'm a Potasio fan.
Yeah.
Little giant size Spider-Gwen, Betsy Cola cover.
Yep.
I had to get this slab. This is the Michael Women's History.
Yeah, I should get mine. I love
the
sign now. Now that I can do the signing or the sign stuff through CGC, I probably should send my stuff in because it's signed.
You should. Then Amazing Spider-Man 238. Mark Jewelers. This would have got higher, but it accidentally got ripped in the back. Gonna ask
by them.
By me.
And you paid for the custom label too?
Yeah, I know. It was $5. Then I got Deadpool 1, the Hustle edition.
Oh, biggie.
No, that was sitting in their store for like a year until that M&M one came out, and it sold out.
Yeah.
A little Rocketeer Adventures #1. The Jetpack combo.
Yeah, when IDW did the re-release and stuff.
Johnny Quest #5.
I wonder how many people are accidentally buying the Dodson covers, thinking that they're Dave Stevens covers.
I saw the Dodson covers.
And
finally, Rocketeer Adventures Volume 2, #1. 99.
There you go. Hold it the right way. Hold it the right way. No, there you go. That's perfect. That's a winner.
Controlling us.
I love good. You can never go wrong with Betty.
That's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That is it. Styx?
Yeah, I got some stuff that I picked up on Free Comic Book Day. I'll go through the back issues that I purchased up.
Get you there. There you
go. I picked up some G.I. Joe. Leading up into the 300s when Image took it over. Picked up a couple of those. I got this Nebula cover.
I'm waiting for those boxes behind you to get higher, and then at some point during the show, them all topple on top of you during the show.
Sticks down.
Just gonna stay an arm.
Down.
You'll have a song. Rest in peace,
Doomsday,
Sticks.
Doctor Who spin-off book that they did. Picked up some Yoda. Picked up some back issues of Amazing Spider-Man that I needed. I stopped buying them for a little while, and I said I'll get them on Free Comic Book Day when everything's a buck. Then I got some free comics. I got the Blood Hunt.
I don't know. I don't think he did. It would be interesting. No.
Nubs.
Got your nubs.
I got Star Wars. I got my science team. Gotcha Man.
There you go. Nice. I know you love your Gotcha Man.
Energy Universe.
I need to get that.
I did end up finding it. I didn't think I got it, but I did get the Johnny Quest. Nice. I must have got it somewhere. Spider-Man.
Nice.
And for those of you who don't know, today 2 episodes of My Guy dropped today. So the new season is here. Doctor Who. Of course, I picked up a copy of Doctor Who.
Did you see Rotten Tomatoes, critics have it at like a 98 critic score, and then it's being review bombed by the audience before the show even aired this morning.
Before it even airs.
Yeah.
You know why?
I'm gonna say,
You know
I'll
why?
save my,
Yeah, I know why.
Yep.
Of it till later. My last thing that I'll show is I picked up a couple of creatures in the Black Lagoon. I got the blank. I got this C2E2 cover, and then the 110.
I like that.
It's a weird book. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I love the covers, so I'll keep buying it just because
the covers
I love
have been
monster
great.
covers.
And fumbling through whatnot, I found this $25. I said, it's gonna cost me more to grade mine. I picked up a Doctor Who slab at 9.4.
There you go.
One of the Marvel Premiere. This is Marvel Premiere number 59 for $25. That's cheaper than chips. So,
Yep.
and that's it for me.
Alrighty. I got a few things here.
See what lovely lady the Joe has to show us today.
I got a little Army of Darkness Forever, a little Sidem cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
7174 AD.
Okay.
The Aha Conan.
Oh, that's a nice one.
A beautiful cover on Dawn Runner. Of course, some Pooh and Bambi.
Nice.
Little Mattis. Abaddonzo. We had this on last week on the Now and Later.
Yeah.
Some Middleton.
Yeah, the Skeletor cover.
As I was saying before about Scarlet Witch, it has some fun covers. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. It's a good cover as well.
That's that Pulp Fiction homage.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction homages are always great. Finally, just grabbed this.
There you go.
I like the cover. It wasn't anything more than that.
That looks like a fun cover.
Yeah. Someone's killing children. Loopy Dave. Rose. Picked up some Mike Hoffman, some Octavia. And got some flops.
Ooh.
Nice.
Cheeky.
And I got some Kickstarter stuff, Emerald Fantasies, or some lyrics. Lana Vecchio, and last but not least, my big hard to bag Parker, Man with the Getaway Face, Darwin Cook.
Is that about Dom?
It's the most awkwardly sized book ever. I'm so angry about how
it looks like a weird size.
It's so weird. It's like it's taller than a magazine, but not as wide as a magazine.
Is it Golden Age size?
No. It's I have it in a magazine Mylar, and it's too big at the top, so I have to gently. It's a huge pain.
Oh, so it's tall.
Dom, you got anything?
Yeah, I got the stuff I showed from when I went to Philly. Well, first things first, I got these. I just got these in the mail yesterday, day before. So apparently, Toy Temple had a new Ezra pop that came out. This is the first to market, limited to 5,000 pieces. And then the regular one is just the same one, just the sticker is just Toy Temple.
Gotta have that sticker.
The stickers mean a lot. I got 2 of them. It's pretty cool. So whenever this kid shows up at the con, I'll get these autographed. I got this autographed. D. Bradley Baker for the Force Unleashed, because he did the voice of Boba Fett in the video game, part 1 and part 2. I know the damn gold doesn't really fit. There you go. I got that. I got to meet Mrs. Sokatano herself, SGX thing.
Again, one of the best signatures in the business.
I figured Falcom when she was on the cover. I got this signed Clone Wars. I got this signed Snips. I got those. Hold on one second. Here for now.
Tom, do you shop at Hot Topic?
Yeah, I do.
I can tell.
Why? I get some stuff when they got some stuff there.
For sure.
Why?
You look like a Hot Topic guy.
Hey, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, all those places. Spencer's, Journey, all those places they look at.
When Hot Topic has those buy one get three free clearance pops.
But you see, the thing is, I don't collect the Star Wars pops like I did. I stopped collecting all the Star Wars pops. I just try to get the random ones that come out. So if they do have, like, if I see a Stitch pop, usually Hot Topic has Stitch exclusives. So I go.
They usually do, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been in the Spencer's since 1988.
It hasn't changed.
And so I got this really cool Soundwave cover, limited to 500 pieces.
Nice.
Issue copies. Really cool Zartan cover. Joe's.
The Dreadnoughts, nice.
I got the Cobra Commando 1 in 50. I got this for like $15.
Nice.
I got this other really cool Soundwave cover.
There you go.
I got this Soundwave cover.
Did you find a new comic store?
What happened?
You find a new LCS?
No, this is all stuff that I picked up at the con and stuff like that.
Okay.
Hey, fuck the LCS, man. They can just, I'll get there when I get there. Yeah, so I got this, the Eastside Comics edition, which is limited 65 to 100. I showed these last week. The freaking mailman shoved these inside the freaking mailbox.
Oh.
So, and
like, so you at least you got lucky that at least they kind of bent them the correct
there is a line
way.
If you look at it a certain way, there is a line going across there. Like they really folded it, so it's bad. Both books, you know,
it doesn't break.
Is it color breaking?
It's not that it's color breaking. There's just like a line. It doesn't. If you look a certain way, you see that little.
I can see the crease.
They could probably press. You could probably press that crease.
You know what?
It didn't go across the spine. When they bend it the other way, that's when I get pissed because that just destroys everything.
Yeah, they so apparently they have this already at a
sandwich it.
9.8. They have a 9.8. They had it less for $100, so maybe down the road I'll pick it up, the 9.8 copy, which it is what it is. I got this Cobra Commander 1 in 10. I got $35.
You know, for that very reason, that's why I have a P.O. box now. I do not fold my books.
Got this really cool 9.8 FET.
There you go. I got that one somewhere around here too.
Got that. And then I'm happy to get this because I missed out on when it dropped, the 1 in 25.
Yeah.
Mandalorian. I found one pretty cheap too. You know, I just hey, look, I find them cheap. I'm buying the 9.8s. That's all I really wanted. Boba Fett's 9.8s. If I can find them, I'll get them. That's it. Yeah, that's it. My stuff. You know,
excellent. Got a few little things for the Pulp Marketplace this week because Heritage had an auction this week. A couple fun things. The Gay Parisienne sold for $14.40 from 1937. This is a nice qualified 6.0. It's an Enoch Bowles cover. I like to point out things of some of the older pulp artists and stuff like that. Just to get those names out there because they are good names that don't necessarily cross over in the comics, but have high pulp appeal in terms of these. So there's also 12 pages of black and white pinups in this as well, which is nice. I just love this cover. Fantastic Adventures 97 from 1950. It is trimmed, but still got a 4.5. The classic Dog Eats Woman cover by R.G. Jones, which I just found to be quite amusing. They literally picked one of the least menacing looking dogs to eat that woman, so it's kind of amusing.
Like an evil Scooby-Doo.
And there are a couple of Planet stories that fell it well. I like to just constantly point out Planet stories. I'm a big fan of Planet comics from Fiction House. The comics have fantastic sci-fi. A lot of them are quite pricey, even raw from the comic side. But Planet Stories, also put out by Fiction House at the same time, has amazingly beautiful covers. and has great stories inside as well. There's a Ray Bradbury story in here. And they are far more reasonable. So if you like good old science fiction style art, the Planet Stories pulps have some really great stuff for a more reasonable price. So this sold for $360 for a 4.5. It looks pretty sharp. I have a raw one sitting up behind me up on the wall. So that's what we got on the old Pulp Marketplace this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
News. We got a little bit of news this week.
Nice.
Ralph Ineson, the British character actor, he has a pretty large 3-decade-long resume for stuff including Witch. He was in Harry Potter, a ton of British TV. Was cast as Galactus. So we have a Galactus for Fantastic Four. I don't know how anyone feels about that. Any ideas?
You know what?
I'm not surprised.
It doesn't really matter. It's going to be CGI with him voicing the character.
I wish would have became him. The
And he does have a pretty deep voice, so
yeah. I'm interested how big of a role Galactus will play in this.
You know what?
I was hoping to get Galacta. Just saying.
Yeah, don't get the
I gotta
comic.
Galacta book at
We've already got one character that's changing up. We don't need both.
Yes, he was in Harry Potter. He played a Death Eater.
And Dementor.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Look, you know what? I think the Galactus will play a part, but not big. You'll probably see Galactus in the beginning. You know, when the Heralds come out. I don't think he's going to play a significant part. He'll have something towards more the end, but like maybe a little flashback in the beginning and maybe towards the end. But I don't see him like being all, the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the character. If they're going to keep carrying the character through, try to make him a bigger character, whatever they can do to diminish Kang moving forward as well.
Yeah.
To give some of the other bigger bads a bigger role to try to squeeze out whatever they had planned for Kang. So we shall see.
Well, does this mean that Doom will not appear in this movie?
With everyone they've announced so far, it's like, why? At this point, why even try to squeeze him in?
Yeah, you don't need Doom right away.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see Doom sooner rather than later, because I would like them to build the Doom character nice and slowly. But,
I think Doom is showing up for the Secret Wars saga when Secret Wars happens. That's what they're aiming about. So
probably get Mole Man, Puppet Master before you get Doom.
Puppet Master.
You got to push those characters.
Gladiator.
Yeah, there he is.
Also, we got Malkovich joining the fan forecast. They haven't mentioned what role, but as James Crater mentions, it could be Puppet Master. Yeah. So it would be very interesting. I love Malkovich, so I don't care where they put him and what he does. I'm happy to see John Malkovich in anything, because he just cracks me. He cracks me up at all times. So happy to see him getting some Disney money. So that makes me happy. Yeah, that man gets money.
Yeah, that man his money.
They're gonna make some more Lord of the Rings movies. This does nothing for me. I find Lord of the Rings excessively boring, but I know some of you nerds like it.
I have not seen Lord of the Rings at all.
I will be walking through this whole film.
Yeah, but apparently Andy Serkis is set to not only star in it but also direct in it. It'll circle around, I guess, feature Gollum. So
I think Warner Brothers sent out a strike against a fan film titled the same. Was it The Hunt for Gollum?
Yeah.
Yeah, they cease and desist. Your film has been struck. So
that sucks, man. You know what? They should look at that guy's film and say, you know what? You want to work for us? You did a fantastic job.
Let me see. Some fan film or Peter Jackson?
I know, but you could have him do something. I know, but you got to understand one thing, that these guys do it because of the fandom of the enjoyment of the movies. These corporations, these big movie companies should celebrate these people making these movies and doing that. And these people could be better than some of the people that they put into the goddamn thing.
Well, you're a big fan of certain IPs, and I wouldn't want you making movies.
No, I bet you I can fucking do something better than half these people do it.
But what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to be doing a bunch of these Lord of the Rings movies, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's different companies that have different rights, and the Tolkien estate still has the rights to some other stuff, and it hasn't been optioned to be made. So, it'd be interesting. It'll be interesting. We'll have the Amazon property. We'll have this property. There's an animated property.
I saw somebody post something. It's literally like a page and a half of one of the books is where they're pulling the source material for this whole movie from. So I can't remember exactly which book it is, but they can stretch anything out of anything.
No fans.
I mean, normally they just have people walking around for 2 hours anyway.
They'll pull from appendices. They'll pull from like his letters and stuff, anything that mentioned Gollum, and throw it into this film, just like they did with the Hobbit films. The Hobbit films aren't necessarily based on the
Kathleen
book.
Kennedy calling.
Tell her she can kiss my ass.
Hey, Dubs.
Hey,
Dubs. Yeah. So we're getting some more Lord of the Rings. Andy Serkis is filling up his war chest, I guess. He's quite a popular guy nowadays. I had to throw this in since we were talking about Blood Hunt. Well, I figured we'd talk about DC because vampires are coming to DC as well. The Elseworlds DC versus Vampires World War V is going on sale.
They had a vampire thing in they just had a vampire storyline.
Yeah, they're continuing. They're continuing all Elseworlds.
They're going to continue it. Yeah. So, like I said, number 1 drops on August 14th. I think it's a 12-part miniseries. And you get Otto Schmidt doing the art, so that's good for me.
This was such a great storyline.
So that means
it was
vampires in Marvel, vampires in DC, vampires in the independent scene. Oh, vampires for everyone.
But DC does it well. The original DC versus Vampires was a fun series. This, I'm guessing, will.
There wasn't a million tie-ins.
Yeah, DC seems to handle Elseworld stuff extremely well. You don't get a ridiculous number of tie-ins if you get any at all. You normally have a reasonable run of a series that tells an interesting story, and then, there you go. So, good times. Sam Hargrave, the guy that directed Extraction, has been tapped to helm the live-action Matchbox movie for Mattel.
Wait, there was a Hot Wheels movie that was coming out. Now a Matchbox movie?
Yep. Mattel is going to start dumping out all their toy movies and stuff like that. So expect a bunch of toy-related property movies coming soon. So it's just a very weird. If you've seen the Extraction films, I don't know how that ties into die-cast cars, but
I don't think at all.
Hey. It is what it is, I guess. So how do you gentlemen feel about toy related properties and movies, and what are you looking forward to in terms of
Cosmic One? That'd actually be a cool idea if they did that.
I just want to see the Monopoly movie.
Yeah, right. It's coming out soon.
Give me a Boggle movie.
How about Hungry Hippo movie? Let's see a Hungry Hippo movie. Yeah. Operation. Let's do that.
Operation.
Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to be a kid friendly movie or not. It's an odd director for it to necessarily be a kid friendly movie, but I don't know. Directors pivot quite often.
Maybe it's a story on Matchbox,
like a documentary.
After Barbie, they want big box office flair. So
yeah, but Barbie at least has.
Humans.
How about Chinese Checkers, the movie? There you go.
Connect 4, make it a romance. You can pull a 4-way. Not a 4-way? 4-way.
Yeah, if some of these toy related properties start to do well, I can expect us to start seeing a lot more. Because we're getting a what? We're getting a live action He-Man.
Yeah,
we had a live action He-Man. This is the second one, so we did.
The first one doesn't really count.
Yeah, the first one counts because the first one was awesome, man. With Frank Langella as
awesome.
I love Frank Langella, but
come on,
the rest
I enjoy 80s goodness, baby. 80s goodness, better than the shit they put out today.
What?
Got Billy Barty in it.
Messes the universe with a steaming hot pile of dog poop.
No, listen to me. Listen
It
to
was
me.
bad.
You're a steaming hot pile of dog poop because the shit from the 80s, the stuff today can't compare to that great stuff in the 80s.
You know, when I finally meet you in person, I'm going to pee on your leg. You know that, right? Just to piss you off.
You damn dog.
I never know what to do with my hands. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Car movies seem to do well.
Have Van Diesel
for the most part.
Make it like a Fast and the Furious type.
No, God, I just want that series to die. I don't need to see Momoa going full Momoa ever again. Just Momoa going full Momoa is just too much for me. With the whole Fast and Furious thing.
I'm gonna get a Christine remake. God damn it! I want a Christine remake.
There's no reason to make a remake. Don't remake things that were good enough the first time. It's never going to be better.
Thank you, Mama Bear.
Mama Bear, a hot friggin' pile of dog do. That's what he.
The only thing I'll say for this is everyone when they said we're going to make a Lego movie.
Yeah,
and that turned out to be a $1 million franchise. So
yeah,
it spawned 4 movies, including that Batman one.
They should make Care Bear horror flick. Care Bear.
They will eventually. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Care Bear.
Gummy Bears, the horror flick.
Hey, leave the Care Bears alone.
Yeah, leave the Gummy Bears alone too.
Don't touch don't touch the Care Bears.
I'd rather see give me some Silverhawks.
Gummy Bear
like
horror movie.
Interesting.
Silverhawks would be great. Hell, like Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Freaking Silverhawks, do a damn Thundercats movie. You know,
I had Lincoln Logs as well through here.
I try to do a Thundercats movie. I don't think it'll translate well.
It's like any other thing.
It's going to be what? They're going to have CGI assholes like cats?
I don't know. Did you see the
Wreck the Set?
Did you see the new King trailer?
King trailer? I didn't see that.
So, who knows? Technology is getting better and better and better. Some of the stuff that they can do, but
listen, you could have the Erect the Set movie, and Tinker Toy and Tonka, and have a trilogy. Don't put all that together.
That son of a bitch still owes me money for.
Can we get a sketch horror movie?
Yeah, there you go. That's the sketch. Hey,
sketch the movie.
So this I found interesting, and there wasn't much information around it, but apparently a passenger was found just sleeping in the overhead bin. And at first I was like, that's just weird, and then I thought that looks really comfortable.
No, I don't think so.
How do you know? What? How tiny is this lady that she's able to fit in there?
Just think, you're not going to find a 400-pound
person
deep. In there.
They're deep.
But you know what's going to happen? You're going to get a 400-pound person complaining and trying to sue the airlines for not being able to fit in the luggage thing. That's what's going to happen. It's the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty brilliant.
I'm saying, what if she's a bedwetter and she's in there and wets the and it just drips all over.
Still not worse than the people that take off their shoes on the plane. So
you'd rather be pissed on the people who take off their shoes?
I think so, because I can't stand people taking off their shoes on the plane. It grosses me out.
I don't do that shit. I tell people this is not your living room.
No.
This is not your living room. Put your shoes back on. I tell her all the time. I don't take my shoes off. I think it's disgusting.
That's not my wife. That's my carry-on.
Yeah, I just.
She probably got a sex or two. So.
It's quite gross, quite gross. And last up on the news this week, there was a person that was sentenced to probation. This 39-year-old was caught crossing the border from Montreal to New York with some snakes in his pants, some pythons. Tried to smuggle
Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Hey, sure looks like you.
It's in the region. It's in the region up there.
I don't
Never
know what you're talking about. My whereabouts were accounted for the week. I think. I was hanging out with Styx.
So yeah,
Damn, Styx. That casting couch is getting deeper and deeper.
It never ceases to amaze me that he apparently had 3 pythons in his pants that he was trying.
I only
to
have
smuggle.
1, so that's not me.
I don't understand people.
You have a garden snake.
Welcome to SMS on Friday, guys. SMS on Friday.
It's an interesting things that people try to smuggle. It's crazy.
People are nuts, man.
That is our news for the week.
Yay!
And I did my best to cover for Jedi's. That's not a comic sale of the week this week. I chose to choose iron-on transfers.
Ooh,
there are some great iron-on transfers out there. Most are actually pretty reasonable. These are some of the more expensive ones that I found. The first one is the vintage, the Phantom Killerstown, Volume 9. It's a rare transfer set. There was a lot of 18 of them. Sold for $1,000. And buy it now. Apparently, this was for a Phantom movie that was never made.
Oh.
So it's a interesting little rarity there. We had a nice vintage 1970s Kiss glitter because there's nothing better than the iron-on transfers that had the glitter.
Oh yeah, that damn glitter gets everywhere.
Those were always sharp looking. They were always great. So and on the 8th Day God Created Kiss iron-on sold for $100. Buy it now. And last but not least, it was the complete set of all 16 vintage Star Wars 1977, the iron-on t-shirt transfers. If you happen to find these, and you can find them for $100, it is definitely worth it.
Yep. Because
the unit cost for those, if you get all 16, is definitely worth it. There's some great Vader ones in there. There's a great Chewbacca one in there.
I just love the creativity, man, back in the 70s, man, when they did things. They made things to last, if you really think about it. Back in the day. Now, everything is just pushed out so much, and it doesn't last.
They only had so much product to work with. They didn't have the kind of fake products that you can make now with plastic.
Oh, it's like t-shirts. It's like t-shirts, with the t-shirts. Like the original stuff from like the 70s, the Star Wars shirts, t-shirts from like the 70s. Those shirts are really awesome. Some of the things that they, those things are collector items, and plus people still wear them. So
they were small snakes, John, that were on the plane. They were very small snakes that were on the plane on that Ohio flight that they busted somebody for.
Crazy.
I wish this would be a cool thing for them to do in comics, to put an insert in that was an iron-on,
like the tattoos in the first Hobgoblin. Amazing Spider-Man, like that, something like that. They don't do stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, no. I mean, something like this would be fun. I mean, within a comic book, you can have a nice size little iron-on or something like that for a shirt. That would be fun. But yeah, they hate us now. They'd rather just sell us 7 different variant covers. So
yeah, mob talk.
What are you gonna do?
How you doing?
All right, Styx.
Yes. Which one are we doing first here? Okay, so I can bring it up on my end. All right. So this week we're just gonna look at some free post sale. Free comic book day books. I went on good old trusty eBay this week, and I said, let's take a look at some of these books that came out this week. So here we go. Let's see if I can push it forward here without Joe. Can I?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't think I can.
All right, look back.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm back. You need me to turn the page? You need me to turn the page, Styx?
Yeah, go ahead. Turn the page. Let's look at the first group here. So for the first group, we got the Ninja Turtles Free Comic Book Day. We got our Nubs Young Jedi Plants vs. Zombies Free Comic Book Day. We got that mad ambiguously Superman cover there. And then the Worlds of James Tynion, the fourth series. What we're going to just kind of say is, which one do you think pre-sale was higher, and which one where do you think which one ended up the highest? So pre-sale, which one do you think pre-sale had the bigger? That pre-sale means before Free Comic Book Day.
I think
leading up
book
to
one.
Free Comic Book Day.
I think book one.
Yeah, book one.
Yeah.
Probably one.
Or one. Okay. And then which one do you think ended up the highest?
I think book one. I think book one is going to be the one that ended up the high. I think that one.
You think both book one for pre and post?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at that. The next one there. So the pre-sale.
Oof.
Yeah, pre-sale. It went. I gotta bring mine down. Right. Yeah, because I can't read that.
People paying $10 for that book?
Yeah, it's gone as high as 10.
Yep.
People like their new turtle characters, even though it's not a new character. I'm sorry, I have allergies. I don't know. As a middle-aged man, this is what it's like having allergies in
I'm fucking dying here! I'm fucking dying!
That is what it's like being in your late 40s having really bad seasonal allergies.
Yeah, Joe, my eyes itch and I get headaches, man. So kind of really bad. Yeah, I'm suffering through it as well.
Yeah. So according to eBay, it pre-sale for 10, and right now they're going for about $4. That Mad one had some pretty high asks on it, but really the pre-sales were only about $8, and now you can get them for $3. So I saw one guy had it on there for like $45. Like, he's crazy.
Yeah, people sell these.
Somebody will buy it.
Things.
You get somebody buying it.
I personally, one of my favorite books of this whole Free Comic Book Day was that Mad magazine book.
And if you ever miss a Free Comic Book Day at your local LCS, if you go to Midtown Comics Monday, they will have all the books up for free.
Again, you should not selling them for outrageous prices now.
I doubt it.
No.
Midtown
probably has so many stacked in the back of those books. They'll just keep filtering them out to get rid of them.
I just want the Transformer. Like I said, I'll see if I can take a swing over there, try to see what they got. But I'm not.
All right, let's go to round number 2. All right, so we got that.
I do not drink the naked drinks there, BK, because the vitamin B that they have in them is created from human waste. It's a byproduct of human waste. It's dried and processed. So I stay away from the naked drinks.
It's one letter away from being BK.
Get the AG1. AG1, Joe. That's the natural green.
Yeah. All right.
I think Star Wars had the highest pre-sale, but Energon is post.
I actually think Energon Universe, both free and present. I think Star Wars had no first appearances.
It's people,
so
it's people.
Just to show what we got here, we got Star Wars #1 Free Comic Book Day. We got the Monster High Free Comic Book Day, Doctor Who Free Comic Book Day, and yes, the Energon.
Doctor Who, they give it away for free.
Shut up. I'll take it if it's for free. I don't give a shit. I'll take it. I was glad to get this book. It's a good read.
Right. Number 4.
Number 4. So you think Energon, Star Wars? What did you say? Star Wars pre, then Energon post? That what the consensus was?
I think book 4.
Yeah, it's
Both.
kind of all around. I think it's probably 4, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, go ahead and go to the next one. So pre-sales that Monster High had $9 pre-sales going.
What?
Apparently, there's some LGBTQ thing going on with it. I don't know.
They can keep it.
And then post.
I got 2 copies.
The Star Wars
course
one
you
was
do.
selling at $8 still on a solo sale.
Yeah, Star Wars.
So the Energon one, yeah, again, it was one that had a lot of high ass at the beginning, but no one bit and everyone waited. Except
You know
for
what?
the choice
Actually, that
people who
book-
can't wait.
That book will eventually go up because I think the Energon universe is going to be a regular series down the road.
I don't think it'll go up because they came out with the ones you can buy with ratios.
I know, but I think that eventually, because I think there's going to be a series. They're going to do the eventually. I know it's a one shot, but
Well,
I
yeah,
think
it's going to be a
down the road-
series. Yeah, I
Down
think it's
the road,
already
it's
going to
gonna
be
be
a series. So, all right, round number 3. So here we got the DC foil. I can't remember the name. I had it written down, but
Number
we got the
1.
Spider-Man. But I can't remember the actual name of the series. What was it? DC. No,
I actually think the Popeye,
Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. We got Blood Hunt, and then of course we got I Lie Popeye.
the Popeye. That's what I think.
I'm a big fan of the I Lie Popeye. I love the concept, and I love the fact they're putting that out of this book. I'm very excited about buying Popeye variants again.
Yep.
I have varying stories about the Popeye, where some people said it was a 1 per store. Other people said it was just a limited, like a qualifier.
The Popeye
I'm
book
not
is
sure.
definitely the high one. The high, past, post, and present.
I mean, I know people were trying to rip off people with that Spider-Man one, but
Absolute power.
But yeah, the
Yeah,
absolute power. You throw foil on something.
Yeah, that's one
Feeling
that I was
nuts.
going to talk about. That one had that pre comic book day. That one was crazy specking by some LCSs who will not be named in this podcast. But I hope they lost their shirt on that one. But go ahead and we'll go to the answers there. So the foil.
Okay.
The foil one over there. It
Yeah.
was pre-selling for $14. You can get it for about $10 now.
Mhm.
Popeye pre-sales were at $4. Now it's at $7. I'm pretty sure that Popeye one's going to end up going up a little bit more if there's not that many out there.
Yeah.
I don't think people knew about the limitation on it pre comic book day.
Plus, I
Or not
think
ma- or not
the
many people
series might get a little bit heat too, and then people will go back
Mhm.
chase as well.
So that's my one to watch. I think that Popeye one will pop off a little more until the series comes, and even then, it might settle into a little bit price there. So
Did you get one of the Popeyes sticks?
I did not. None of the store, and I went to 5 LCSs. None of them had it, or if they did, someone had already gotten it, or they kept it for themselves.
Yeah. I know they would sell like day of. They were selling on eBay for like $3.
I'll end up getting one. I'll find one on eBay or maybe even a whatnot sale somewhere.
I'll
But,
send you one of mine.
oh, what a nice guy!
I'm a nice guy here.
All right, round number 4. We have a little 3-book lot. We've got our Mad Cave's Gatchaman series. We got their Flash Gordon. And then I threw on this Marvel Voices series. Marvel Voices in the past have been garnished some pretty good.
I actually think the Flash Gordon is the one.
I'm going with Gatchaman pre and Flash Gordon post.
I'm going with
Flash Gordon was a special book.
I'm going for both.
You just got to go to the Midwest, Styx. There's plenty of Popeye.
Okay.
Because I know the LCS by me was doing. You couldn't even pick that Flash Gordon up. You had to. It was a giveaway they were doing. They were doing a giveaway for it.
I thought it was going to be a flip book because they were.
Flash Gordon, definitely.
I'm excited about the Flash Gordon series.
Yeah, I gotta get myself a Flash Gordon.
Actually, the Gotcha Man looks really great too, and there's a lot of really good covers coming with that series.
They have they have one that's a store exclusive through their website. That's really nice.
And the Marvel voices, those always do seem to do well sometimes, because they'll always throw some characters in there that you're like, oh, we'll introduce somebody in there that you weren't thinking of. So
right. All right. Let's go to our answer cast there. So Gotcha Man was a 5 pre, $8 post. Flash Gordon, $5 pre, $11 post. But the Marvel voices went $3 pre, and now is selling for about $15 raw.
15.
$15. There were
people for some reason they leave that behind. They don't order a ton of it.
Yeah, some of those.
I got 2 copies.
Those LCSs it's not free for those who don't know. Free Comic Book Day isn't free for the LCSs. They have to pay like 50 cents a book or 75 cents a book.
35 cents a book or something. Yeah, it's cheap.
It's still not much, but they still have to pay for it. I mean, it's not nothing in life is free except Free Comic Book Day for the patron. So they have to pick and choose which ones they order the most of. Most of them ordered that Spider-Man and the Blood Hunt stuff. So, and some of it
was there a first appearance in them Marvel voices?
I'm not sure, but it's got that India Spider-Man in it. Miles Morales, they often
like to throw
Dinosaur. The Dinosaur Girl
and Moon Girl, Dinosaur Girl. Yeah, they like to throw. They do like to throw some interesting characters in there sometimes. Whether there's any first in there, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised because it wouldn't.
Yeah, it was either
the first time
last year or the year before. They had one character
John.
in it that was hadn't been in comics for a while, and that kind of shot it up a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, you normally get characters that don't appear often.
Right.
So sometimes you'll get them on the cover for the first time in one of these books or something like that. And the way the kids love stuff on the covers nowadays.
Right. All right. Round 5. This is a fun one for us. Not really comics, but there was stuff that was offered for Free Comic Book Day that the LCSs could order. The first one up is this Sentinel, kind of like a wrestling buddy type of stuffed animal character. Then you got your Invincible movie scene of Omni-Man beating up his son.
That's nice. It comes with the rock and everything. That's nice. I like when they have the full diorama kind of set up with pops.
I'm going with number 2.
They make them a little more interesting.
And then the third one there, that Gambit pop.
Now you're not gonna ride that X-Men 97 heat and pick Gambit. Although I guess one can say the Sentinel with the X-Men. Yeah, I noticed there's the X-Men on the Sentinel as well. I see Wolverine and unfortunately Cyclops and Rogue.
Yeah, I didn't see a picture of the back, so I don't know if there's anyone on the back. But yeah, what do you think? Which one?
That's where Cyclops belongs.
Which one pre and post? What do we got pre and post?
Book 2. I mean 2.
The 2.
2 because Gambit isn't covered in bacon grease. It wasn't bacon. It was
Beignet grease about his abdominal area, or in his half shirt. He's trying out for Texas A&M football.
They should have had the first appearance cover with Gambit on it, with him with Storm. That would have been good.
Or do you mean the one with him and his first
comic cover,
first appearance?
Yeah, the comic cover of Gambit.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Cyclops is the best Summers.
Cyclops belongs under the foot.
He's the worst Summers.
All right.
It's the least of all Summers.
And our answers are.
Yay! Oh.
So that
I'd have won them.
That Sentinel
he was pre-selling for $55 and is now selling at $75. The pop was $40 to $50. Gambit selling at $20, now the $40.
Somebody's gonna cut a hole and have sex with that thing. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna do that.
Put it out there, Joe.
I can provide a link for stuff like that. I got a link.
Just throwing it out there.
Just
saying it's
don't
gonna
put any
happen.
links in the chat.
No, that's $75 for that. That's quite pricey. Even 55 pre is pretty pricey for a freaking plush.
From the sounds of it, most LCSs either didn't order it or ordered maybe 3. So,
You know, since Jedi's not here to call out Styx about his game, I'm going to call you out Styx. Apparently, one of your slides was wrong.
I remember we have correction slides on the show.
We will be correcting
when we do have an error.
Which one are you correcting? What do you think?
We will throw up any corrections in next week's show.
Next week's show. So watch.
All right. I'll keep an eye out for that.
I had a correction slide for something I screwed up one week. I had it for one of Styx's with a price miss. So we correct our mistakes here.
All my prices this week were off from eBay, so you can blame eBay. Hey, thank you for playing.
And now some breastfeeding videos. Oh,
yeah.
Wait, wrong show.
Wrong show. No hot yoga on this show, unfortunately.
For all your breastfeeding needs, tune into SNS tomorrow.
You're right. Match the breast with the bra. Triple D. Quadruple G.
But that could be any comic collector, though.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen the guys at the cons with the triple Ds?
Oh my dude! When I went to Philadelphia, I swear to God, every time I've seen somebody like selling stuff, I'm like, I told my wife, "How the fuck do you get that big? Holy shit!" Holy shit. It's like it's sad, you know. It's sad.
Pixie sticks and French toast.
Oh, you know, it's sad. You know, look, not to make a joke of it. It's just that how do you breathe? How can you? I went to the doctors and I'm overweight on myself now on what it was, and I feel like shit. And just imagine what these guys and these women are going through, the way and it's like, do something about it, don't you? It's crazy.
We have to keep that under wraps, BK.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do this week, since the Stevens books are getting crazy, the 9/8s are actually starting to settle down a little bit of a lot of the Stevens stuff. Planet Comics is starting to settle back down a little bit. Still way above average, but it's settling down a little bit. The Raws are starting to go for crazy amounts of money. I mean, you're seeing Raws go for $100, $200, $300, if not more, of Stevens books. And people aren't really even saying, "Hey, this is near mint." They're just books that are selling. It's getting a little nuts. So I figured we would take a look at some other artists that are out there and maybe make a case for or against that. Maybe some of their works could catch a little bit of a heater at some point as well.
Okay.
First thing I want to do is just show some, and these are just 9/8s of how some of these books are moving. It's a little nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, the jumps in some of these, especially Planet Comics, to look at that graph and be like, okay, yeah, those were sitting around. I remember when a 9/8 of Planet Comics for like $150 was like, whoa, this book's getting hot. And then all of a sudden it just started moving. It was like, wow, it's $300. And then all of a sudden it was like, holy hell, this book is selling for $1,500. And all of a sudden it sold for like $2,800. It's settling back down a little bit.
Yeah.
Closer to $2,000, but still is selling for a ridiculous amount of money. Now, the thing that Stevens has going for them is number one, within the industry, his work is extremely well known and appreciated by a lot of artists that are out there. I mean, anybody that's a comic artist knows who Dave Stevens is, appreciates Dave Stevens' work, will cite Dave Stevens. So he has some of that notoriety. He wasn't extremely widely known throughout the comic community. There's a lot of people that weren't into Dave Stevens, or maybe heard the name but really weren't familiar with a lot of his books and stuff like that. And most of his work is in a lot of these other titles that, truthfully, I mean, I'm sorry, Blackthorn Press and Pacific Comics and stuff like that. Those books got beat to hell. They were not made on the best paper to begin with. They were beat up books for years, and they were kind of consistent $5 to $15 books for years and years and years. But there's not a ton of them. The censuses are pretty low for pretty much all of his books. There's none of his books, especially like the Space Vixens or the Planet or Cheval Noir, none of those have high censuses. So there is a bit of rarity in the higher grades, and the raw stuff to get it in higher grade is also harder to find. A lot of these books are going to be in a 6 or 7 if you're buying them raw a lot of times. So just look out if you happen to be buying them raw. But you can see there are some pretty significant jumps. The Space Vixens took a little dip down, but still, that's still hovering around 2K, which is still crazy.
Yeah, a lot of these books, they have a new floor when it comes to asking price.
Yeah.
They'll never fall back to where they were.
Yeah. So first on the list, figure we would take a look at some Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm has a lot going for him. He is still alive, unlike Dave Stevens, so he can still keep putting out work. So there can be a consistent trickle of work. But Bruce Timm doesn't do a lot of work. He doesn't put out a ton of covers. I mean, maybe once or twice a year you get a cover here and a cover there. He definitely has different tiers of work. You know, it's in some of the upper tiers in terms of dollar values. That Batman Beyond, everybody loves Batman Beyond. It's a very recognizable book. Probably more for the Batman Beyond than the Bruce Timm for that book. It had a ridiculous peak in 2022 during the pandemic. That book rode up pretty high, and it's come back down to reality. But it's still a pricey book. It's still close to $1,000 book in most cases for just the regular, not the newsstand copy of Batman Beyond. If you take some of his stuff that's a little harder to get, that Vampirella has been a nice steady mover. It's just been slow and steady over time, which is nice. That's, that 9.8 of that's basically a $500 book at this point. And Out of This World, I think I had to choose like a 9.4 on this because there's very, very few at the top of the census on this, but it is a great cover. And again, it's something that has taken a nice little spike. I think there's a little bit more notice of cheesecake now as well. If that's anything that Stevens does, it brings a little bit more of an eye on some cheesecake art as well, and gets it in front of people's eyes. And Timm has a great balance of some great cheesecake work, while at the same time having very accessible stuff with Batman Beyond and the Batgirl cover for Batgirl Adventures, the Supergirl cover on Superman Adventures, stuff like that. So he has good wide cross appeal. So if that name hits, I think there's a lot of things that you can grab.
The price for Vampirella Raw asking is like $400 to $500.
Yeah. And that's the other thing for some of these. The census is so thin at the top. A lot of these, if you're going to find them, you're finding them raw. I don't know why a lot of these haven't gotten graded, but the census at the top is extremely thin. So I would say a lot of the rare books or raw books that you're going to see more than likely aren't top tier candidates in a 9.8 or 9.6. But because there's not many that make their way to the market, they definitely command a premium. Next on the list, one of my favorites, Darwin Cook.
Ooh,
again, another person who's extremely accessible. A huge variety of work that Cook has. just very accessible. You could find his stuff from extremely cheap. You can go out and find Darwin Cook covers for, $2-3 and pick up his work. But some of his stuff that's at the higher end, that Starfire, that 1 in 25 is, it's a pricey book. It's come down a little bit. But it's still $150, $175 book in most cases. That Invincible Returns, it's a great Darwin Cook cover. That thing's not easy to find in a high grade. That thing goes for over $1,000 in a 9.8. And the iZombie, it's hard to find that many of these even graded in any way, shape, or form. But you can find raws out there for 100-ish here and there. But it's a great book. But like I said, Darwin Cook has tons of DC stuff that's out there. All those landscape covers, those Darwin Cook covers are fantastic. A lot of different series out there. The Spirit series has a lot of great Darwin Cook covers. I believe there's a Bruce Timm cover in there as well. So there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, that Invincible just freaking sold for like $600 raw. Jeez.
Yeah, and again, Darwin Cook, for those that don't know, he passed a handful of years back. So it's one of those things where he does have a lot of work out there that you can get your hands on. But at the same time, there's not going to be anything new that's coming out. So, the supply of those things will be limited. There won't be new things coming out. So, while there is a lot to get, like Stevens, there is a finite amount that you'll be able to get your hands on. Next on the list is one of my personal favorites. Now we're kind of going on some more long shots, but I love Mike Hoffman as an artist. Some people find him to be a bit of an acquired taste. I like it. He falls more into the kind of Frazetta side of things in terms of the cheesecake fantasy side of things. Most of his books are excessively accessible in you can find a ton of Hoffman stuff under $20, from the Octavia stuff to the Satana stuff. But Teenage Murder Bait is a book that in a 9.8 you are going to spend a lot of money on. I believe this one went for what, 600 and something. I saw one up for like $1,600 in a 9.8. Yeah, he has a few winners that are out there. But I like Hoffman. He's again, like BK, yes, it is bastard Frazetta to a certain extent. It's very Frazetta-esque in his art. But if you like fantasy and that cheesecake mix, Hoffman's still alive. He's still kicking out there. He did a lot of Swamp Thing books too, as well. So you can find some Swamp Thing covers that are dirt cheap that are Hoffman covers as well. But again, he's somebody out there that a lot of times in some of these boxes, you can find these books sometimes $3-4. Sometimes they're not bad pickups. So. My favorites, Joe Chiodo. I love Joe Chiodo. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of his stuff on the census. Cover Price was not, or Go Collect was not friendly with me today. Trying to find some of these books, they would not show up as being on the census or not show up at all. That Verity, that Valkyrie raw right now, that's about $150 book. It's a absolutely gorgeous. It's probably one of the best Joe Chiodo covers. Sorry, I spelled his name wrong up there on top because I don't have a editor like some of us, Bruce.
my editor's been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. But
yeah, the Valkyrie's great. He did a handful of in the Harris run of Vampirella. He did a handful of Vampirella covers. All of them raw, all go for 100 or more in terms of the Vampirella covers.
Those raw dog babies. Those,
If you want something accessible that's cheap, that X-Men Unlimited, which is one of my favorite Kitty and Lockheed covers, is a fantastic cover. You can find that raw for as low as $3 online.
Yeah, we got 20 likes, 42 watching. Hit that like button, guys. Get those likes up,
man.
us.
Come on, do it for me.
Yeah,
the whole damn show, baby.
And now I'm squeezing on the outside of the list here. Just some newer artists or very lesser known artists from more of a cheesecake side of things that don't have a lot of stuff out there. That and I know Scott Blair has had some health issues lately. So there's not a lot of his work out there. It is sought after. You won't get a lot of it finding it on eBay. And if you do, it's normally quite expensive. Most of what he does is his the Vamps versus Wolves series, which was a Kickstarter. There's a lot of great covers there. There's actually a Momoka cover for the Versus Vamps versus Wolves cover as well, which is one that always goes for a good amount of money. But most of his raw stuff will go for about $125. Like I said, he has done some Zombie Tramp. He did a limited to 60 cover on Valkyrie Saviors as well. So if you look for his work online and just like on eBay, look for Scott Blair, what you will actually find is a lot of slabs, 9/8 slabs of original sketches on blanks. So if you like his art and you like his art style, he has a lot of fantastic original art on blanks slabbed on eBay as well.
I didn't know they were still doing Zombie Tramp. Are they still?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of it goes off on Kickstarter nowadays. I had to throw flops in here. I like flops. Flops doesn't do a ton of mainstream stuff. He gets a little mainstream work here and there. He is a name that is known, but his work is still very accessible. So if you're looking for somebody maybe to sock away some interesting covers of an interesting artist who has a style that's unlike anybody else's style that's out there. Said Washed in Blood came out this week. You could pick that up. His first cover, that Rogues Gallery, that was a Third Eye exclusive, but you could still find that even on eBay as low as $10. He did one of these Happy Horror Days Archie covers as well. Out raw is about 40. But you could find a lot of his stuff on Kickstarter. He's been getting a good bit of Kickstarter work. The only one of none of these were Kickstarter, these three that are here. He did a Carmelia Unlimited, which was a Kickstarter. He had a Harriet Tubman, one that was just a regular release.
The Vampire Slayer?
Yes. So there's a flops cover for that. He has a handful of Kickstarters that are coming out that are funded and in fulfillment process as well.
Yeah, that Rogues Gallery, I see a lot of people when they post their books. A lot of people have that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it was limited to 500 from Third Eye, but there are a good number out there. It's an accessible book for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And for people that like to try to grab somebody's first art as well, first comic art as well, it's not a bad one to have. So that's what we have for our artists this week. Nice. Who knows? Like I said, I personally, I don't necessarily think that somebody's going to catch a heater like Stevens. I think Stevens is the perfect storm of low print runs of stuff that has been undervalued for years and years, that people have in their boxes. A lot of people do have in their boxes, that when, prices start to go up like that, things can hit the market really fast and run prices up.
Yeah, Stevens, I think Stevens really underneath the radar for so damn long, you know, and
Yeah.
And when Joe put that out months ago,
Months ago,
lit a fire.
I love Stevens. I've always loved Stevens' work. It's always been, at that time it was extremely undervalued and underrated. Like I said, almost all those books raw, outside of a few.
Well, come on, think about it.
They were $10 to $15 books.
Think about it. The Rocketeer has been an underrated character for a very long time too.
Yep, and I mean, supposedly you're getting a new Rocketeer movie.
Yes, a movie or series that Disney Plus was doing or something.
Yeah,
So, someone had said this in the chat, and I'm going to pose that question to you. Someone said, unfortunately, a lot of these guys are still alive. But do you think it takes someone actually dying, or the death of an artist, or can an artist who's living catch those same kind of fire like Stevens?
I think you could. I mean, Bruce Timm is still pretty popular. Yeah. I mean, I think Bruce Timm is one of those types of artists where his work is very accessible. People know his work. He has a tier of work that is kind of cheesecake and a little spicy that goes for some good money. And he has a lot of straight up, very mainstream covers that also go for a decent amount of money. But then he has a tier of work that's kind of sits under the radar as well. That stuff I think could catch some heat.
While you were talking about this, I actually went back and found the episode with the Dave Stevens spotlight. Mm-hmm. So if anybody wants to, what the hell? What's that?
I don't know.
Okay. Did it post in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Click that link and go ahead and watch Joe's.
Click that link and it's timestamped at 54:35 in the video. Well, you can watch the whole video.
Yeah. And make sure if you didn't even watch it, hit the like, thumbs up.
And I'm going to watch it tonight.
And I agree. Someone like an Abadanza. Abadanza has a lot of work, which is why I always point people to like Zenoscope stuff. Zenoscope is always willing to give artists a shot because I think they just accept submissions. So a lot of times you get a lot of new artists in through there, and you can get a lot of the like Lobos. I mean, Lobos is constantly doing covers now. I mean, it's just, you can't go a week without seeing a Lobos cover somewhere for a DC or a Marvel book. But he has a ton of Zenoscope stuff that came out that was great. So like I said, I think there's a handful of artists. Probably could have tossed 5 or 6 other people in here as well. A lot of the female artists. If you want to go back and watch one of our old shows, we did a ladies first show as well, where we kind of highlighted the first issues and then some subsequent issues of some of the great female artists that are out there, like Sosa Micah and Jen Bartel and Jenny Frizen and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely something. I think people are starting to, because everyone's cover chasers now for the most part. Yeah. Not a ton of people. I mean, we all kind of read comics for the most part, but I'd say a good 50% of my buys are cover buys, and the other 50% are probably reads with cover buys. But you're buying, you're looking for a cover. I mean, when you hear, there's a new Hughes cover out this week, that's you look to go see that. You don't necessarily care whether it's a Daredevil book or a Jackpot book or whatever. You don't care. You go, it's Hughes cover. So
so check out that Dave Stevens spotlight, the Nick Cardy spotlight, the Neil Adams spotlight, done here first by the great Joe's Doolin.
Yes. We like to do our spotlights. I like doing artist spotlights. I hope they catch on more. The early ones didn't get huge views, but it's fun to go through, especially some of the older artists. Take someone like Steranko. he's still alive somehow. I don't know how.
Man is old.
And he's still out there at conventions and stuff like that. That man's work is fantastic. All that Shield stuff that he did is great. Some of the X-Men stuff he did, it was great. But those guys aren't going to be people like that aren't going to be around much longer. I mean, when those guys go up, their books are already kind of big boy books, a lot of them. You know, when they pass, that always tends to give a little bump up in the status of some of those books.
Yeah. The one thing I was gonna say is that, like, even when after John Romita passed just recently, there, like, we didn't see this kind of bump in his stuff like Stevens is getting. So.
And I agree with Rivers. I love the pre-baby Scotty Young stuff. When we did the Kitty Pride spotlight last week, there was a great Scotty Young cover in that. There was one of his composed covers where there's actually things going on and not just a small little weird baby figure and a little comic. So
a lot of these artists,
there you go.
They do a lot of these
Holy Wars
independent books. Independent books that the print runs aren't as big as the big two, which is DC and Marvel. And when an artist passes away, it has to be the perfect storm for really the takeoff. And you can't tell who's going to take off. Like, God forbid McFarlane passes away. McFarlane has a lot of good covers, and he has his original stuff doesn't look anything what his stuff look like now. So maybe that stuff, the stuff that he did before, will definitely go up.
Does he really draw now? Does he really do art now? Really?
I'm just saying,
he still cranks out a cover every now.
A couple of things here and there.
Yeah,
but I think his first work will definitely take off compared to the work that he has done now, the newer stuff. Mm-hmm. Like Dave Stevens, how much stuff did he really have out there in the mainstream comic world compared to
none?
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. So basically, that is one of the reasons why his books are really taking off, because a lot of his books, like I said, independent books that are hard to find.
That's fair assessment.
A lot of places didn't get the work when it did drop, and that's the reason why we have those price spikes that go astronomical up when they jump in price after a person passes, or if the perfect storm happens.
I'll be interested to see in about a month and a half what the census looks like for Stevens' work. Because the census on a lot of these books were pretty low in the higher end. And I'll really be interested to see just people. So a lot of people weren't submitting a lot of those, but they would submit the tops. You'd submit your DNA agents and your Planet comics and your 3D, and people would submit those if they had them in really high grade. But outside of that, most people just kind of traveled in raws for Dave Stevens stuff. But now that this caught this heater, I'm interested to see if those numbers jump at the top end a little bit. Because it's not going to take much to double some of those numbers. Because when there's there's 3 9/8 or 6 9/8, it doesn't take much to to double those numbers. So
all of a sudden you got 15 on there,
yeah. We'll see.
I do.
All right,
number 2. Yeah.
So we figured we'd look at some ugly covers this week. Because why not? Because I'm sure some of you might have seen that Scrooge McDuck Frank Miller cover.
What about the Darth Maul Frank Miller cover?
Oh,
well, I mean, they're all the same cover. I'm pretty sure they're all just the same art.
My
different
poor
characters.
eyes.
Mm-hmm. But so I figured we'd take a look at some ugly covers through the ages. So Styx and I put together some fun covers. So for Golden Age, Styx, this one was your page.
Yep. So these three, in looking through Golden Age, and it's hard to discern really a bad cover because a lot of those covers have become kind of iconic.
Yeah,
some of their IPs and whatnot. So I picked up 3 that I thought were kind of the crappiest of the Golden Age that I was looking at. So we got this Shazam, kind of a Roger Rabbit here, where you got the live action kids and
It's very creepy. It's a creepy cover.
kids sitting on Shazam's lap. Oh my god! I'm like, holy crap! It just, I mean, if that was like, no. No.
There was a phase where they liked to do that kind of overlay of
There's a couple
photorealistic,
Marvels
color
like
touched
that.
stuff with the comic stuff.
There's a couple Bronze Age Marvels like the Submariner. There's the Amazing Spider-Man one. I think there's a Daredevil.
Here's my favorite part of that cover. He is reading the book that has the cover of those children sitting there right now. So how that happens is beyond me.
No, I don't know.
But time and space has been broken.
Right. And then, so here's this Christmas Green Llama. Before Dynamite got that IP, there was a Green Llama book. This is just horrible. It's it's supposed to be a Christmas wrap package. But Green Llama is is sort of a superhero, I guess. I don't know how he was back then, but not a cover I would buy now. That's garbage. And then the Thing, I'm sure the stuff inside is probably pretty good, but
truthfully, if the cover is sketchy, the interior art is most definitely really sketchy.
So?
Yeah. That's what I found, because I read a lot of Golden Age stuff online, and even when I find, because I like the crime, the old Golden Age crime stuff, and I'll find like this really cool cover. I'm like, oh, this looks great, and I start reading the interior art, and with a lot of these old books, they're all written kind of anthology style. You're given like 7 or 8 stories,
right? And
some of the interior art stories are like, oh, somebody phoned this one in. Oops, somebody was huffing ether while they drew this one. It was some of them were pretty bad.
Yes.
For me, I like weird cheesy stuff that just amuses me. Man of War just kind of amused me, mainly because it was introducing the ferret killer of gangster rats, and he looks like he just has like a dead ferret on his head. In that bottom left corner. The funny thing about Golden Age is everything was a ripoff of something else. All the publishing houses, because it's not like you just had like the big 2. You had tons and tons of publishing houses cranking out comics, and every publishing house would copy off of the other publishing house. Whatever was popular, they would just kind of rip off that character and make their own version of it and stuff like that. So you had like 40,000 characters that were like Man of War. Some better drawn than others, and others that didn't have an explosion that looked like a ball sack underneath them there. I also had to choose Amazing Man comics, because I just was like, what the hell's going on here? I'm very confused as to what's going on here. He seems to have chains on his wrists, but I don't know. I don't really see chains. But he's biting a snake for some reason.
He's biting the snake. Well, he killed the snake. If you look at it, he killed the snake that was trying to bite him.
Yeah.
Like he's using it as an underwater breather.
Yeah, there was just kind of a lot going on there.
Use the snake for air. That'll work.
And then I'm a big fan with Golden Age books of looking at asymmetrical faces. So the Romances Stories of Love. I was just like, am I looking at 2 women, 1 woman? What's going on there? Is just like her one eye's looking at that couple, but the other one's looking at you. So
like a lazy eye.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So I threw that one in there.
Nice.
As we get to Silver Age, Styx.
Yeah, so first up here we get a Flash. I guess that's a robot. I'm not quite sure. He's kind of like one of those marionette stick figures that you'd see in like someone doing art. Not great for Flash at all.
Big head. I'm a big fan of Big Head Flash, where he has the massive skull.
Yeah.
Big fan of that one as well.
Yeah. Here we got Zebra Batman.
God, Detective Comics and Batman in Golden Age had some of the dumbest, crappiest covers that you could possibly. Had some of the best, most iconic covers, but at the same time had so many dumb covers, like some of the giant size Batman, those 80 pagers and stuff like that, had some of the weirdest, dumbest, cheesiest stuff.
Yeah. And then my last cover here was the not brand X. You just got some of like the weirdest, like Mad Magazine or Cracked renditions of popular characters on this cover.
Zebra Man.
Definitely something I pick up if I see it. You know,
Zebra Batman.
I love the very happy
Pop,
Captain
really.
America there.
You got the Funko Pop like that. Batman?
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah. So.
Good stuff. Good stuff. For me, I picked Strange Adventures because this was just a dumb cover. The man with the head of Saturn just seemed to make no sense whatsoever. And I love Strange Adventures. It's one of the titles that I do collect quite a lot of. And they do have a lot of wacky, crazy covers, but this one was just really, really dumb. I threw this wonderful Green Lantern cover in there because it's possibly some of the worst face art on Green Lantern that you'll ever see.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I love the Fatso Superman.
How do you get like that? Jesus.
Too many kryptonite cookies.
Kryptonite cookies.
And next to the Wonder Woman Funhouse, it's a good Silver Age cover, which is bad and good at the same time.
Yeah.
Moving into good old Bronze Age.
So I picked kind of an underground comic, but DC took it on for a little while. It's Plop. I had a lot of covers to choose from because these were some crazy ass covers, but this one, I like the little one-eyed guy here with the like octopus suckers on his.
Plop was like a bizarre comic.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it was it Crumb? This isn't Crumb, but
nice.
the whole series is like this, where the covers are kind of some kind of wacky character on the cover. Empire Strikes Back. This is the Star Wars Weekly from the UK. I don't know what's going on with these faces, but
got a nice cameo of Harry and the Hendersons in the back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. Yeah, these are some great. I mean, a lot of times these artists didn't really have the movie.
Hey, why does C-3PO look like his boobs? His boobs appear.
Give a little slack, but
C-3PO.
Han Solo looks like he's put on some LBs.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, C-3PO looks like he's got a pair of
tits.
66 double D's over there, but
no wonder Jedi likes C-3PO.
Don't worry about that goldenrod in the card.
Yeah,
those breasts are.
Whoever inked this cover definitely was like, I got a lot of black ink I got to get rid of.
Heavy on the shading.
Gonna heavily ink
on that shading. Yeah. And then I like these catalog books, but this one was kind of weird looking. So these catalogs would be something you could pick up for like a quarter at your LCS or like a newsstand, and they would show you what toys was coming out within the next 6 months or so, like Mego and Remco and things like that. Just a weird cover.
It's good to know I could fit some type of spaceship, a Superman, a Batman, some Matchbox car, all in my beard. That's good to know.
It's better than that egg salad sandwich you were trying to put in there earlier.
But for my bronze, just a little reminder that Blackthorn Comics might have a hit with Planet Comics 1, but not all of their comics were a hit. The Of Myths and Men was a really awful
Of Myths
cover.
and Men.
Then Incredible Hulk 264. possibly one of the crappiest Hulk covers around.
There's a couple.
Yeah, it's definitely a loser. And this Eclipse comic, Saber, this is just a really bad cover. I mean, I had a lot to pick from because I'm not, as much as I like Luke Cage as a character, his Hero for Hires covers are awful. But this is some Billy Graham.
This cover should remind those ladies, just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you can't get yourself a nice swashbuckler.
Yeah, there's definitely the Kevin Eastman school of inking on that cover.
Indeed.
And last up are moderns.
I picked a couple, some great ones here. We got Wolverine.
That is by far the worst Wolverine face.
What is that?
And I got some Wolverine faces in mind too, but that
was that Man Bat?
That's not even Marvel.
I know.
Yeah.
This is horrible. I mean, the claws are like so super long too, and they
like butter knives.
That is one of the best well-known worst modern covers of all time.
Right. Then next we got the Atom, the Dark Knight Returns world. One of our Frank Miller specials. Superman just doesn't look great, and this is even before the recent stuff. Well, before the recent stuff.
Yes.
So this is the slow, steady decline you're seeing right here before your eyes, folks. And then Ecstatic. All these covers were not my cup of tea. This is just
I like the Allred covers. They're weird.
They're weird.
But I understand it's definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah.
With
not something I
won't acquire.
Same with the excellent ones as well. The Allred stuff is it's very acquired taste. For mine, I also had to choose some Frank Miller.
I forgot about that one. Someone throw that Wonder Woman a sandwich, please.
It's Frank. What are you doing? I mean, and we do these also to remind you that it's not like Frank Miller just fell off in terms of his work. These were published a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. That What If starring Wolverine, that is I don't know, between that and the Marvel Comics Present, both are just such weird bad covers. They checked all the boxes for me in terms of what's a bad cover. I'm sure we could have added a ton more in the modern stuff. I tried to stay away from Liefeld stuff. Because there was too much to choose from.
Yeah, you can only look at that big bulky Captain America chest so many times.
Or just the other Avengers cover with Captain America and Thor, and it's just it's bad. There's some bad stuff. Yes, 93 is a pirate.
She doesn't
not a
look
good
like
looking pirate.
Arg.
Go back to Treasure Island.
Meth woman.
we had some bad covers back in the day. So those are our bad covers for the week.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff out there, but everything's bad is in the eye of the beholder, and sometimes artists turn it around. You take Jay Lee's weird Namor, and I know some people love that old Namor cover. It's awful.
Not too good either.
But Jay Lee is he's a beast now. He puts out amazing cover after amazing cover. So, a lot of these artists, you see where they kind of get their start, and then they kind of blossom and do something great, and others take the opposite path.
Liefeld.
Frank Miller. God, I can't stop looking at that Wonder Woman. It hurts my eyes.
It's scary.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
like she got hooves for hands instead of.
Yeah, the Scrooge McDuck one is the weirdest though, because it's just like you're taking a character. It's for kind of more of a kid's kind of book, and you put a Frank Miller cover on it.
Nightmare Fuel.
And it's scary. It's scary.
Daddy bought me this comic and it scared me.
Like I say, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, we saw a lot of these 80s and 90s covers, and I didn't think of them at the time being like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, because a lot of the art was like this on a lot of the books.
Yeah.
Consistent.
But yeah, looking back in retrospect, it was a rough time. It was a rough time in art. Art definitely ebbs and flows.
What's with the the spotlight on artists? Do you think Frank Miller had a bump on his art when he goes?
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard to say, because if you look at like Jack Kirby, he was always in the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
So Frank Miller's always been in the spotlight because of Dark Knight and
the Daredevil stuff.
Daredevil.
Yeah. I mean, I still think the Daredevil stuff is good.
Yeah.
I mean, this just keeps him in the pantheon for people to say, "Oh yeah, Frank Miller, he's still alive," type stuff. You know.
Yeah, we tried to keep this down to just kind of 6 books per age. We might bring this back as kind of a running series every now and then.
I got it.
Maybe a worst covers, maybe a best covers through the ages, because it's fun to, like I said, it's fun to go through the ages of the books, also just to kind of see how the art changes as well. So
yeah, there's definite noticeable changes in the. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, definitely. And like I said, Golden Age is weird because there's so many Golden Age books. People don't understand how much. I know we talk about the 90s and how there were millions of books published and stuff like that, but that was nothing compared to what they were publishing in Golden Age.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In Golden Age, remember, there were newsstands everywhere, and newsstands would get stacks and stacks of comics every week. So there was tons and tons of that stuff. Granted, a lot of it didn't survive because it was read and it was tossed and everything like that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, paper drives is what really killed them, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So I hope you liked it. Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Good old classy.
If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to Rennavision, Kingdom of Nerds, Styx Boy. I put up some of these spotlights as well on my channel. Just quick little, no audio. They're not cut out of here. They're just kind of just taking the presentation and running them through. So if you go to my channel, you'll see quick 1 or 2 minute little quick PowerPoint run throughs of some of the artist spotlights we've done and stuff like that as well, and character spotlights. So if you haven't subbed up, please do. If you like the show, always appreciate a like, always appreciate a subscribe, and always appreciate you being here every week.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up are nice. They're nice. And again, I really appreciate any comments in the YouTube comments after the show for any type of spotlights and stuff that you guys want to see. I always enjoy suggestions because sometimes what I'm thinking in my head of what I want to do isn't necessarily the most accessible thing around for everybody else. So I like to know what everyone else is thinking out there and what they'd like to see. And we would definitely be happy accommodating those. So we appreciate you all for hanging around. Boys, any last words for this week?
No, go out and watch Doctor Who this week.
Watch Doctor Who and don't overpay for books.
Yeah,
definitely don't overpay for books.
Sit back, don't watch Doctor Who, and do something very more important.
Yeah,
get them out of here.
Post 1,000 reels and chats.
And you know what? And that's much more fun than the freaking goddamn watching Doctor Who. That's gonna be like watching paint dry. Give me a break, man.
Doctor Who is better than Boba Fett. Just saying.
No, it's not.
Get laid, get a little sun on your face, have a good time.
The original Doctor Who, yes. This Doctor Who.
Have you ever seen any Doctor Who? No.
Yes, I did. Back in the
yeah.
On that note, everybody, have a great weekend.
My brother.